Disclaimers. I am not very technical, and I've got this in my hand. So bear with me as we go along. First, I want to thank Kelly Hall and the Chamber for putting on such an outstanding event here today. Kelly, I don't know what you tell people to get them here, but I sure appreciate you doing it. Are we giving away something free, or what is it? Because this is a fantastic crowd today. I also want to thank everyone that's involved in this presentation. This has been a labor to do this, and I hope you enjoy what we have for you today. But I want to thank Sean Hara. I want to thank Terry Miller, Scott Shelhorse, and Crystal Gable for all the efforts that they did putting this presentation together. I also want to thank Julie Woods and our former Mayor Murray Moore, who, without their collaborative efforts, this would not be the same. I want to take just a moment to recognize my family who are here with me. My mom, Marion. I have my oldest daughter, Spencer, and her fiance, Andrew Hansen. My middle daughter, Madison. My brother, Chris, his wife, Leisha. And all of my office staff over here that makes this possible for me to be here. And I certainly can't neglect my wife, Kelly, who puts up with all of this to allow me to be here as well. So I appreciate you all being here, and thank you for your attention. You know, last year I got up here as my first head of the city address, and I talked to you in statistics and graphs about demographics and income and population, things that you can get off of our website. It was pretty boring to me, and I'm sure it was pretty boring to you, but I appreciate you all sitting through that. I'm not going to do that again this year. I've thought about this for a whole year, and I've thought to myself, what is it that makes Longview special? And every time I think about it, it's staring me right here in the face. It's you. It's the people that make Longview special. Here we go. So today, allow me to share our story. I want to showcase a series of people who make our city great. People that saw a need and then took action to fill in the gap. Let's start. Let me introduce to you Suzanne Sanders. Suzanne had a son born with developmental delays. As he grew, he wanted to play baseball. But you know what? There was no place to play baseball in Longview for a handicapped child. So Suzanne took it upon herself, and she petitioned the city of Longview, and the city of Longview donated a parcel of land, and volunteers were put together, fundraising was accomplished, and the Miracle League of East Texas was born. Thanks to the passion of Suzanne and all those volunteers, in March of this year, of 2017, Josh and his teammates will have a place to play baseball in Longview. What a miracle. Let's talk about Nancy Ellsworth. And our wonderful World of Wonders. World of Wonders has made downtown a Longview destination now. Several years ago, Nancy and a group of volunteers came together to start a children's museum here in Longview. They started by holding special events at various locations. They were a building without walls, a museum without walls. And they purchased a building downtown. Phase 1 opened this summer, and now we have activities through the World of Wonders Museum that allows kids to have options to keep them safe and out of trouble, all the while growing their minds. You know, Nancy said in Longview, if people want it, it will happen. And she's living proof of that. Thank you, Nancy. For you coffee lovers, Silver Grizzly Espresso. Just a few doors away in downtown for the World of Wonders, business partners Vance Freeman, David Sanford, Vincent Purvis, and Connor Waiters. They wanted to create something special in downtown Longview. So they created Silver Grizzly Espresso. Their goal was to create a business for Longview. People could come together and talk and communicate. And what better way to do that than around coffee? And to us, that's an expression of their faith. We appreciate their commitment to putting their income and their monies into downtown Longview. These are just some of the kinds of stories that I see all around town through volunteers, through entrepreneurs. I see people stepping up to make things happen. Let's talk about development. Do you realize in the last 18 months, Longview has had over $150 million of investment into our community from either new development or redevelopment? And that's during a time period when, as you all know, our oil and gas revenues are very depressed. The economy is tough, money is tight, but people continue to develop local people investing in our community. Allow me to refresh your memory for just a moment on some of the examples of these projects. We have Scott Zorn's development on Clay Street, which includes restaurants like Raising Cane's, Bubba's 33, Slim Chickens, and XL ER. Scott also put his money into Hawkins Parkway to develop Freshy and Fuzzy Tacos. We have a new residential development called Stone Ridge off of Hawkins Parkway by Kyle Smith. We have the High Street development where we have a great new convenience store in South Longview by Brian Hatchett. Champions Ridge is another residential development, David Carlisle off of Oak Forest Golf Course. And how about Gregg Estates? Daryl Gregg has new residential development bringing 5 new houses off of Birdsong Street in South Longview with the potential to add more houses in the future. We appreciate Daryl investing in our community. Patterson Nissan opening up a second location on Highway 259. We have the 4th Street extension we all know about. And this is a very significant part of our recent development. This is the epitome of a public-private partnership between the City of Longview and Gary Van Dusen, where we're opening up a corridor of retail development throughout our community, which we'll talk about more as the presentation goes along. And how about the City Center? Dante Hahn, an innovative concept of residential and retail at City Center on 4th Street. Hilton Garden Inn, Courtyard Marriott, Home 2 Suites. I can punch this button faster than I can turn these pages. Hampton Inn and the Residence Inn. These are all examples of hotel growth in our community. What a great thing to see that we actually need more hotels because people are staying in Longview overnight. That's a testament to our economy and the things that we have here in Longview. And now we're seeing the new trend in these standalone ERs. They're taking hold throughout our community with XL ER. We have Hospitality ER. And we have Neighbors Emergency Center. We also have our newest assisted living and independent living facility on Hawkins Parkway, Arabella of Longview. And we have the George Ritchie Road expansion, which is slated to open in October of this year. It will not only provide us an east-west artery to connect our city, but hopefully a business and retail industrial tax base for West Longview, which is so desperately needed. Let's talk about Harrison Road and the future plans there. Together with the county, Judge Stout has been very instrumental in this. And in our state, we're going to have major road work going between Harrison Road and Fisher Road and hopefully all the way to Highway 42. Judge Stout and I recently visited with Greg Abbott not too long ago about this project and others, and we feel very confident that we will be taking up this endeavor quite rapidly. And how about this one? Who knows about the infamous dip? If y'all have been to Target or Movies 14, you've been here. We now have in our budget, with the help of the county as well, the funds to fix this dip, and we will be fixing this within this calendar year. But we will try to avoid a Christmas shopping season. We also have a great new project in South Longview, which is developing property but also people, and that's the Buckner Family Hope Center. Their new family pathway programs has 7 families living on the campus already, and more applications are coming, and they hope to have all 16 apartments filled by January. Which is where we come to Michelle Whitten. It was through Buckner I had the opportunity to know about Michelle. She has worked there. She has experienced firsthand tragedy in her life through the suicide of her brother. She now uses that positive force in her life to lift others up where she sees the needs, and she works through the community schools programs at JL Everhart. We're very fortunate we have lots of choices in Longview for restaurants. We have new restaurants on the border, where, by the way, my niece is a hostess there, in case you need to know. She's a greeter at On the Border. Cutest thing you've ever seen in your life. We have Saltgrass Steakhouse. We have Fuzzy Taco and Freshie. We have The Catch, Bubba's 33, BJ's Restaurant and Brew House. We have Rotolo's Pizzeria. We also have the Lone Star Ice House. David Woodard, is that your car? It must be a Saturday. It's okay. Jeez. I'm kidding, David. His car's not that color. We have Sumo Japanese Grill and Sushi. We have Slim Chickens, opening soon. We have Red Robin Gourmet Burgers and Brews. We have Juicy's Tacos. And we have the new Sonic on the 4th Street Extension, which also has an outdoor play area and a volleyball court if you haven't been there yet. We also have food trucks. How about that? We currently have 3 food trucks in operation: the Rolling Hunger, Sophie's Kitchen, and Tacos Goyos. We have currently 2 more that are in the process of coming online. And with all that growth, we still need to realize that we need to continue to appreciate our locally owned restaurants as well. We have the staples. We have Cafe Barron's. We have El Sombrero Mexican Restaurant. We have the Butcher Shop Bakery, the Coffee Mill, Mi Casita, Divine Catering, Bell's Diner, and we have the Tuscan Pig. I don't know how many of you all know Miriam and Rudy Chiappetta. This is one of my favorite new restaurants in town. Rudy came to the United States in 1973 on the SS Michelangelo from Naples. He enjoys Longview because he said he can go from one side of town to the other in 6 minutes. He also says that the missing ingredient in a lot of places is love. And he's made more friends in 4 years in Longview than he made in 20 years in California. So we're so glad the Tuscan Pig is here and made a home in Longview. And there's so many, many more locally owned restaurants that we're so proud of that we continue to support. Let's talk about shopping local. Did you realize in Longview that if each family would spend $89 a month on monies that they would spend anyway, okay, let me break this down because I'm not good at math. Not an extra $89. $89 that you would spend somewhere else, either online or another community. You realize if every family in Longview spent that $89 here, we would gain $500,000 in taxable revenue income into our city budget. $500,000 just by shifting the money that you're spending already back into our community. That's ½ cent on our sales tax rate. You know what that equates to? We could build 5 to 7 new playgrounds in Longview every year with $500,000. And that's every single year. So shopping local is very important to our economy. I know it's easy to shop outside. It's easy to click the phone, the Amazons, and things like that. But that doesn't help us. So try your best to focus on bringing your business and keeping your business here. The community supports you. We need to support our communities. Let me talk about Longview Economic Development Corporation. I know you all are the sponsors here today, and we really, really appreciate that. Talk about investing in our local economy. I'm proud of the work taking place at LEDCO. I want to recognize our new president, Wayne Mansfield, CEO, who recently moved to Longview, and just say thank you to all the staff and the board members at LEDCO. Not only have they continued to seek major new employers to bring to our community and industry as well, they've reinvested in Longview. Let me reiterate that. They have reinvested in Longview, in our trail systems, in our transit system. And if anyone wants to know why the trail expansion is so important, just take a stroll down Katy Trail in Dallas, because things happen when you connect the city from one side to the other. Shops, nightlives, restaurants, all those things can spring up over these endeavors. And so, LEDCO, we really appreciate your support into our community. And in the case you didn't know, in the past 2 months, LEDCO has brought in 645 new jobs to our community, which is an outstanding. I don't remember that many jobs coming to Longview at one time since probably Eastman Chemical came. We all know what an impact Eastman Chemical has on our community. This is all due to the newly appointed LEDCO board, who has worked tirelessly under the leadership of Peggy Vaughn, with board members Connor Cupid, Randy Peters, Lester Lucy, and Ray Wade. This group has made a significant impact in Longview in a very short time, all the while with virtually no executive director in place. Now that we have Wayne in place, I cannot even imagine where we're going to go with this group of individuals. So thank you all so much for your commitment and your time you put into this community. We also have a North and South Business Park. There's plenty of room for more development to come, so I hope to see that happening soon within our business parks. Let's talk about redevelopment. In addition to new development, redevelopment was one of the major focal points of our comprehensive plan looking across town. So there are many great examples of redevelopment taking place in our community. MG Foods, they transformed a fire-damaged beer distributorship, formerly Coors, into a distribution center and food packing plant. Crosby Levis is relocating and expanding the Longview Business Park. And how about this fun one? G-Force owners Jason Horn and Chris Tittle, they transformed a warehouse in Northwest Longview into an awesome entertainment venue with an indoor trampoline park and go-kart racing, which I have actually done, and it is really, really fun. There's so much development happening in the Northeast, so it's good to see something happening in the Northwest side of town. This has brought people in from Tyler, Gilmer, Hallsville, Marshall, Shreveport, all over East Texas. It's made Longview a destination. Family Dollar has redeveloped a space out on Young Street. Holiday Inn Express on Tuttle is being redeveloped and expanded into a Holiday Inn and Conference Center. The shopping center at Loop 281 and Gilmer Road has redeveloped a major facelift with the addition of Aldi food markets and also the relocation of Big Lots. And how about this one? Natural Grocers are coming into the former Hancock Fabric property. Aren't we all glad to see that taking place? Continued examples of redevelopment in our community. Supermercado La Carreta, a Mexican grocery store soon to open in the former home of the Longview Lanes on McCann Road. And then the former Kmart location. You know, driving by this location, we can all recognize that there is still more opportunity for redevelopment to occur. We hope that this will continue and that someone will make an effort to this existing facility and make it something that we'll all be very proud of. The Longview Mall. Have you been to the Longview Mall lately? You know, when I was growing up, the Longview Mall was the place to be. It was it. It was the location. And it's time for it to be it again. Because the Longview Mall is centered in our community. We must have that mall vibrant, viable. It needs to be a place where we come and people come to see. It's one of the great recent stories of redevelopment in our community. They've put $15 million into the property with the new owners, W.P. Glimsher. With new stores like Dick's Sporting Goods, H&M, White Barn Candle, Vanity, K Jewelers, Victoria's Secrets, Bath & Body Works, Payless Shoe Source, and more. And if you happen to go to the mall, you'll come across a guy named John Quick. John's been there over 15 years. You may have seen him, but John works in the maintenance department. He takes great pride in his work to make sure that even the smallest of details are done with excellence. How about downtown in R. Lacey? Major reinvestment this year in the evidence by the multi-million-dollar three-story expansion taking place at R. Lacey. It's also going to provide an additional 50 jobs in our community. Oil Horse Brewery, Longview's first craft brewery, opened this year downtown. Don't really clap, because I'm just working this thing away. The historic train depot and our petroleum building. There's a developer who's seriously considering options for that redevelopment of the petroleum building as we speak. We hope that comes to fruition because that will be another major milestone for our downtown redevelopment. Downtown street improvements and reconstructions. The city of Longview has been working on improving several streets. Tyler, Fredonia, Green, Method, and Center all have been renovated. And how about Horaney's? It's one of downtown's Longview flagship anchors. We also have the Longview Museum of Fine Arts. We have the Gregg County Historical Museum. And we have Downtown Live. Now, how many of you have been to Downtown Live? Raise your hand. Those of you that didn't raise your hand, you are absolutely missing out. Downtown Live is one of the most exciting new things that are happening in downtown, and it's so much fun to get out and see your friends, your neighbors, people that you don't know, because it's a very open, casual atmosphere, and it's free. They have great concerts, great movies. It's a great place to socialize and entertain and just get out and enjoy your community. They have it every evening, Friday evenings in September, part of October and April, and it's just a great way to enjoy our downtown facilities. And if you're down there, you're going to see a guy named Frank Oliver. I had the honor of meeting Frank at Downtown Live. He moved here in 2011. Frank has virtually volunteered at every event you can imagine. Cinco de Mayo, Great Texas Balloon Race, Alley Fest, T-Bone Walker, July 4th, Freedom Celebration, Christmas Parade, Rockers and Riders and Ribs. He's planning on being there for that. He does it all. But what really struck me about Frank was this. He's come to learn what most of us already know. By volunteering, you receive many more blessings than you could ever hand out. And Frank has received many. How about the Home Beer Fest? The first Home Beer Fest was just hosted in downtown Longview, Southern, the craft of home brewing beer. Have you ever brewed beer before? Me either. Can't help you there. I know nothing about it. Rockers, Riders, and Ribs Fest will be hosted in downtown Longview in October and expected to bring in record crowds. This ought to be a great new event. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's something that's different for Longview. You know, it's nice to have difference because sometimes we get into the lull, and now this is going to be something totally different. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I hope everybody will participate in that. We have Art Walk, Movies on the Plaza, Dalton Days, T-Bone Walker Blues Festival. Now let's talk about some services and safety here in our community. Talk about a little bit about a person named Tommy Duke. Tommy's the case manager doing some of the one-on-one accountability for the client service by Highway to Rescue Mission. Before he got his life in a better position, Tommy was an alcoholic. When he retired, his wife encouraged him to volunteer. You know, we have a homeless issue in Longview. People like Tommy Duke are examples of how to make an impact in our community. How about the SWAT at Good Shepherd? Each December, the SWAT team repels Good Shepherd dressed as superheroes. Y'all recognize those? That's David Wright and Ed Moore. No, it is. No, it's not. We have flood response. Our fire department was instrumental in rescuing people during the spring's flooding. And we have AMBUCS. AMBUCS organization raises money for children to have specially outfitted trikes for mobility. We also have many, many other service organizations who do great things like Zonta Club, Rotary, Kiwanis, Lions Club, Pilots Club, the Junior League. We have nonprofit efforts like Greater Longview United Way, Longview Community Ministries, Habitat for Humanity, East Texas Child Advocates, Junior Achievement. We have Go Red for Women, Cattle Barons, Gold Rush, Monster Dash, Mud Run. And this is just to name a few. Because you see here at Longview, we continue to give and give and give. And that's what makes Longview so special. Shifting gears a little bit, I know this is going to seem a surprise to some of y'all, but I started a book club here in Longview. I look like the book club kind of guy. I didn't think so either. But I can tell you, our first book was called The Go-Giver. We read it as a community, as a council, as city staff, and it became an incredible movement in our community. I've been overwhelmed by the support through this simple little coalition of people coming together and reading a book. We've had donations through this Go-Giver Fund that was set up through this book that has supplied body cameras for law enforcement and donations provide for our vests for our canine officers. Public safety has been a primary concern for all of us over the last couple of years, and deservedly so. We have had 17 federal indictments worked with multiple agencies. We've targeted specific gang members, had significant arrests. We work with the FBI to get stronger sentencing for gang-related criminal activity. We've had police pay restructured to retain and recruit our new officers. We're now approaching our goal of having a full complement of officers serving our community. We also have a new interactive crime map that you can access online that allows you to see what's going on in our city, across the city, and also in your neighborhood. It allows you to see what's happening at any point in time. It's a very innovative crime map that we have for the community. Let's talk about one of our finest, Longview Police Officer Kendrick Montgomery. He's a police area representative of a PAR officer in town. Kendrick saw a need and did something about it. He filed a nuisance abatement case. He made many calls. He held meetings. He met with people. He documented illegal activity. And due to Officer Montgomery's actions, the location where this took place has had no recorded activity criminally since January 2016 when the lawsuit was filed. I want to see more of this. Officers and people speaking up and speaking out against known crime violators in our neighborhoods. We can't fix it if people won't share what they know. Thank you to Kendrick for his dedicated service to our community. Okay, how about these two guys? How many of you know Ricardo Buchanan and Simeon Witten? I'm just going to tell you, these guys are the masterminds behind the My View, which is an interview series that highlights individuals in Longview. They had this out on Facebook, and if you haven't clicked on it, you need to click on this. These two guys are so innovative and so creative. It's their way of promoting positive short stories and in-depth profiles and highlights about the community which we live in. And I applaud these two young men for their effort. Thank you, guys. You know, a year ago when I was up here, it was very difficult for some of the things that I had to talk to you about. And one of them was the fact that we were considered the 13th most dangerous city in Texas 1 year ago. Today, we're the 12th happiest city in Texas, and we're the 40th best city in Texas for family life and fun. And that may seem like a big number, 40th, but that 40th number, we were the very first in all of the East Texas area. Behind, you know, obviously there are places like suburbs of the big cities. Those gain the first 39 spots. When you get to the smaller towns, Longview is number one in those, ahead of the other areas, the other cities in our area. So, you know, we're making progress. We're coming a long way. Read it again. 13th most dangerous city to the 12th happiest city in Texas. I'm pretty proud of that, and you all should be pretty proud of that too. Let's look at parks and city services. I mentioned this earlier, the new Hensley Park. Last year, the Longview residents, you all, voted to allow the redesignation of Hensley Park into a retail corridor if and when we got a new Hensley Park, which is going to be bigger and better all the way around at absolutely no cost to the city of Longview. This is going to open up a retail corridor where the old Hensley Park is. It will be an amazing thing for our community. They'll provide revenues that we haven't had in the past, from tax revenues, property tax, sales tax, water revenues, and jobs that we didn't have. So this is going to be an incredible opportunity for our community to continue to expand and grow in the retail corridor. How about Lear Park? To me, it's the crown jewel of our park system. Do you realize Lear Park brings in over $12.5 million in economic impact every single year in our community for the last 11 years? It is a real gem for us to have. We have great parks in Longview. We have Stamper Park. We have the Green. We have our splash pads. And thanks to you all, we have wheelchair swings. Through your generous donations, once again through our Go Giver Fund, we will equip one park in every district in Longview with wheelchair. That's an experience that they've never had before, and we haven't had the opportunity in Longview to do, and I thank you for your generous donations that are going to make that happen in our community. Thank you to you. We have great trails in Longview. More to come, thanks to LEEDCO. We have disc golf. We have Mod Cobb, which continues to be a fantastic venue for events throughout our community. We have our new Longview Animal Care and Adoption Center that's recently opened a state-of-the-art facility to take care of the needs of our pets and the pets of the surrounding communities as well. Our Longview Transit System continues to be a source of transportation across our community for our residents, and we're expanding that into more routes and extended services for our residents. How many of you all have been to Teague Park and seen the Veterans Memorial? If you haven't, you should. It is very, very impressive. Adam and Lonnie Rennick, two people very instrumental in this. Adam says, to ordinary people, the memorial wall may not mean much, but those that serve, it means everything. Adam's the first sergeant of the Marine Reserve Unit in Fort Worth. When he comes home, he realized how important it was to pay respects to veterans. He and his wife, Lonnie, created a one-team, one-fight nonprofit in order to support first responders, police, fire, and military, and raise awareness about PTSD and veteran suicide, and to make veterans aware of available resources. They worked with Anytime Fitness and put together 5Ks and 10K runs and raised over $26,000 in cash and kind donations to start this Veterans Memorial Wall. If you haven't been out to Teague Park, you should go out there and pay your respects. And it's an incredible experience out there. Let's look at some of the things that we're really blessed to have in Longview. No introduction here needed. Neil McCoy and his Pledge of Allegiance. I don't know how many of y'all have seen that. If you hadn't, you're missing out because over 11 million people see it, I think, every day. Neil has put such a positive light on Longview at a national level. He has over 11 million views on Facebook when he says the Pledge of Allegiance daily. I appreciate Neil for many, many reasons. His patriotism, his music, and his East Texas Angel Network. This is a family, the McGoys. Mason, who is 2, was diagnosed in December with acute lymphoblastic leukemia. He had to travel to Dallas every week for chemotherapy. He's had 4 extended stays in the hospital. Mason's mom had to quit her job, which cuts their family income in half. But thanks to Neil McCoy's Angel Network, they've been able to step up, provide assistance to the family like they do for many, many, many families in East Texas in the same situation. What a blessing we have in Neil McCoy. Oh, this is a hard one. Okay, Special Olympics Field Day at LISD. For the first time this year, I attended this as the mayor. I thought about it over and over and over again how special this day was. These young people celebrated as athletes in a way they've never been celebrated before. I'll never forget the level of football players, cheerleaders, vuettes, band members cheering these kids on. It will put a lump in your throat and a tear in your eye. But I've never felt more alive. Okay, we have great school districts in Longview. We have Longview, Spring Hill, Pine Tree, and Hallsville. And this year, I set up a mayor's scholarship fund instead of taking a mayoral salary, because I feel like we have the abilities to give when we should, when we can. So I awarded a scholarship to one senior from each of the 4 high schools in Longview, based on an essay. I wanted this to be simple, because I'm a simple guy. 1-page essay on what you would do to make Longview better. And I can tell you, I was absolutely blown away. I would have liked to give a scholarship to every single applicant that I read. It was outstanding. Every school And what it tells me is that our schools are doing great and that our future is very secure with the young people that are applying these scholarships. It was very, very, very impressive. So I look forward to it next year. I can't wait to see the essays again, but these 4 we picked, it could have been any 4. Outstanding essays through our community. We also have great higher education in Longview. We are so blessed to have these universities. We applaud all their efforts, and we're so glad that they're here. We have Laterno University, we have UT Tyler Longview, we have Kilgore College. We also have some special people doing special things. How about CPR, Compassion, Pride, and Respect? Ladies, this is for you. CPR is an initiative led by Councilwoman Nona Snoddy and Cassia Williams, along with Perkins Partnership Ministries. They've gone to the south side of Longview, they've renovated neighborhoods, they've brought people up. They are doing things to bring awareness to kids in neighborhoods in South Longview. And in all of my time on the council, I've never seen more of an effort put in than these ladies are putting in right now. So, thank you, ladies. We have a program called Thrive 360. Pictured here are Thrive 360 student Keith Halton, who's a 9th grader at LISD, and athletic director Shamir Davis. Thrive 360 is a program designed to empower youth with opportunities for intellectual, physical, social, and spiritual growth. Shamir grew up around drugs and violence, so he understands the plight of some of these young men. He, along with Keith and others, are working to make differences in these young people's lives so that these mistakes won't be repeated from generation to generation. We applaud these young men for their courage to stand up. And how about Kevin Hawkins? Hope for Youth and My Brother's Keeper, Kevin Hawkins. Divine Catering has quickly become an institution in Longview, known for their amazing Southern-style cooking. But the restaurant and catering business are just one of the ways that owner Kevin Hawkins is serving our community. Through his leadership, Kevin is helping to ensure that all young people can reach their full potential by addressing issues of youth gang involvement and violence, by bringing groups together all across our city. They actually had an event there held last night, if I'm not mistaken. I heard it was fantastic. Thank you, Kevin, for all the work you do for our community. Longview Regional has just completed a $40 million expansion. And Good Shepherd has just been acquired by Duke LifePoint, a for-profit hospital system that will operate here. This acquisition means that we will now gain revenues from Good Shepherd that were previously nonprofit, which will be very, very beneficial for our city budget. This will be new monies into our city budget as well as the county. We have East Texas Regional Airport. You know, we're so blessed to have an airport with one of the longest runways in the country. They can land any plane. You can land the Space Shuttle, Air Force One, land any plane you want to. There also, it's a foreign trade zone, which we hope to start really taking advantage of here in the near future. It's such an asset to Longview. We're also fortunate to have a 100-year water supply, so we can never be dependent on others for water. We can use this to our advantage as well by being able to sell water to other communities for much-needed revenues. How about this one? Dexter Landers. You know, Mr. Landers is a fixture in Longview. Many refer to him as Portable Jesus. And I'm going to tell you, you may not agree with his method or his message, but you absolutely cannot deny his commitment.
Amen.
Dexter Landers. As I said earlier, we just completed our 3rd community-wide book club study. We've gone through the Go Giver, the Energy Bus, and the Shark and the Goldfish. This is one of the ways that we focus on things that we can do in a positive manner. Make a positive impact in our world. We'll be starting our 4th study here pretty soon. The book's already been picked out. It's going to be a killer. You're going to love it. I want you to join us. We do it every Monday night through the study at 7 o'clock from 7 to 8 on Facebook. Join in for some amazing, lively, innovative discussion about the things going on in our community. I also want to thank you for your survey responses. I post surveys every other week during council weeks, and your feedback on pertinent issues is very, very important to our community. Listening is important, and that's why God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. So I do a lot of listening to you, and I appreciate your feedback on all the surveys that I send out. It's very invaluable. The Great Texas Balloon Race, one of the largest events put on in Gray County, This will be their 40th year coming up. It's a trademark of Longview, and it's only possible because of an all-volunteer team that worked tirelessly to make this one of the best events anywhere in Texas. One of those volunteers is Larry Aldridge. He leads the behind-the-scenes doings at the balloon race. He's the guy in charge of taking the airport property, which is about 100 acres of land, and transforming it into a village, a virtual village, setting up porta potties, lights, water, power, tents, security, fencing. They do all of this for 1 week, then they tear it all back down again. Larry said being involved with this successful event helps him to want to just pound his chest. You know what? It makes me want to pound my chest as well. It's a fantastic event for Gray County. So, what's made Longview special? Our people. Someone seeing a need and stepping up to do something about it. What's going to help us move forward? That same thing. You, me, people we haven't even met yet. We all need to continue stepping forward to make our community better. Let's follow the examples of these amazing people that we've seen today. Let's love our community. Let's shop local. Let's invest and reinvest locally. Let's work together to help write Longview's story for future generations. Thank you for your attention. You thought I was through. Still got it. You know, I believe the best way to serve Longview and our community is to continue to move ahead. And for me as mayor and my city council member colleagues, we want to continue to work together to encourage the work of our residents. So I want to thank each one of my fellow council members for their support in what we do, because this is not a one-man job. This is a team, and it's a big, big team, the city of Longview. But thank you to Ed Moore, District 1, Nona Snoddy, District 2, Kasia Williams, District 3, Chris Nishihara, District 4, David Wright, District 5, and Steve Pirtle, District 6. And I want to thank you all, the residents, for giving me the opportunity to be here and serve as your mayor. I really do consider it an honor and a privilege. And I appreciate your attendance.
Thank you, Mayor Mack. And we also want to thank again the Longview Economic Development Corporation, Henry and Peters, Aon, and Energy Wealth Fab, our sponsors for this event. We have a few upcoming events, so before you head out the doors, I want to have your attention to tell you about that. We've got a workshop addressing the Department of Labor Overtime Regulation. Mark your calendars for October 4th. Elected officials reception is November 1st. The Cybersecurity Summit, we all know how important that is November 10th. Emerging Leaders Award Luncheon, November 30th. And you can register or get more information on each of those events on the Chamber's website. Thank you so much for being here today. This is such an incredible crowd. I was blessed to spend some time with you, and have safe travels back to work if you're going to work or home.
Andrew. Andrew, anybody in the car? I'll go with you.
Together. They used to be together. Remember, I said now. Good to see you. Hey,
Hi.
I know. But I was like, could you please come back?
Hi, Joycelyn. Good to see you.
I did too. Okay. I will. I promise I will. Okay. It's so good to see you. Thank you. Real time. This is just my I don't know if these two guys well, let me know.
Okay, I will. I sure will.
Okay.
You're enjoying this, aren't you?
I didn't know it was going to be
Well, did Johnny ever tell you what I told him up there? When I very first time? I said, I nearly called her and said, no, don't get it. Well, Andy's so different, though. I said,
I thought this would be something in retirement. Oh, yeah, it'll take a little time, but, you know.
no, I'm
Anyway,
Taking it seriously.
you're going to hear from me, okay? I'll send you an email.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you.
Okay, yeah. Because of that education piece, I thought of you right away.
Hey, I'm doing good. I'm doing good. This is Murray Ward. Two forever. You know how are things going here?